We have some terrible news, and this week has not been good. I'm going to talk about Malema and responsi- his responsibility in regards to these farm murders. We know that there are 6 teams running between Limpopo, Gauteng, and KwaZulu-Natal that are run by Malema. He tries to be innocent from this crime. He's using middlemen. He's bringing people in from the Congo, from Zimbabwe that are from jails. He's also helping the jail breakouts by threatening police. We know this for a fact. We have the king of the prisons that was in the Cape, who was offered guns and money to do farm murders and arrange them as well by Malema. Just this week, we had a teacher attacked in her home, her breast removed, and brutally murdered. An activist from the DA, Annette Kennedy, I believe her name is, she was brutally murdered by one of her own farm workers, and he was arrested. The other family where the gentleman was murdered and the wife was stabbed and boiled with water, they made that out to be a mild thing, but this lady was tortured for hours, and so was the husband. Come to find out, it was almost the entire farm workers that did it, all from Lesotho. Because the lady lived, she was able to identify her attackers. Malema is behind these attacks, 99% of them. And he's on a list for human rights violations, and one of these prisoners will spill soon. We have the evidence, and soon, Mr. Malema, you'll remember my name. Having said that, the gentleman took his child to school from the day she was born until she was 17 years old. They attacked his car. They pulled him out and beat him half to death. They made him watch his 17-year-old daughter be raped numerous times. And then they killed him, executed him, and left his daughter there, half broken, beaten, and raped. Even worse than that, today, in Benoni, right by Soweto, 2 children in a car, in a truck, left on the side of the road because they ran out of diesel. The dad went to go get diesel. They were attacked on the side of the street, called Mlungu, meaning white man, or like a nigger word, or an N word, or the K word for the white man. Disgusting. Racism. They shot these 2 children to death. When the man returned, he found his children lying in the street, shot to death for no reason other than racism. Racism. I can't even. My emotions are so. I can't even describe the anger and frustration and disappointment in why. What for? Because of the color of their skin? A year ago, I started this campaign in a truck, one video, 1 minute, 30 seconds, if that. And I warned Ramaphosa that his irresponsible behavior in this land reform would cause untold deaths unnecessary deaths, ridiculous racism. And I was right. The country turned into a hellhole of murder, rape, torture, and killings. Burning of schools, houses, municipalities, roads, turning of cars, attacking police stations, and the killing of farmers that he lied about, internationally lied about, and warned by the 5 nations, England, Holland, Sweden, United States. And Germany, that if they continue down this road of land reform, there will be sanctions. 75% of their foreign trade will be stopped. I am personally calling for sanctions. I'm calling for international sanctions. It's the only way to stop this before a civil war happens. How, I'm not even sure if this can stop what they did today, can stop what's coming. I am calling on the international communities to step in and condemn this and force the South African government to stop what they are about to do. Now, there's my paper. This Carl Holzman, or Niehaus, sorry, an ANC spokesman for Mandela, who was in jail for political crimes and treason, today stood up, threatened, well, today, this week, stood up and threatened in his contest, in contest with Sizwe uniform, and threatened the white people, and he's a white. He also is praising Ramaphosa today in his inauguration, stating that he wants the land reform to go through. He apparently has a degree in theology from some university. He states he has a master's degree, which he can't prove. He also states that he was gang raped when he was in jail, which cannot be proved either. This guy is a scumbag. Mr. Niehaus, you also on the list for human rights violations. Because your irresponsible behavior is causing deaths of whites. And to Theresa May, I'm extremely happy you resigned. You piece of crap. Excuse my French. You paid the ANC £50,000 to take the land of white people. You assisted in the murder and incitement of harassment, torture, and rape and murder of a nation. And I'm truly happy that they've got rid of you finally. You're a disgrace to the British people. And I hope you never, ever come into politics ever again. And to the British people, we are aware of who's funding the ANC and the EFF. It is up to you to make sure that these people are stopped. Because what you don't understand is the blood of British people are in this country as well. And they are being persecuted by this government too. And you have to stop it. Again, my condolences to the families of all these people that have been murdered. This month alone, there's been a 50% increase in the farm murders. 50%. The international communities have to get involved now. To all the farmers out there, you are now vulnerable. The government's involved. Malema is responsible, 99% involved. He is responsible for most of the farm murders. It's been proven. We have evidence, enough evidence now. The EFF needs to be disbanded as a criminal outfit and a criminal party. And to all the political parties in South Africa, if you want the evidence, it's on carte blanche. And we right now we are actively finding these people that are doing these attacks, and we will get their statements too. When we've got all this information put together, we want Malema arrested for crimes against humanity, for torture, rape, and murder. Mr. Zuma, you're a criminal. So is your son. I find it strange. Here we go again, same as Winnie Mandela. The witnesses are dying. And you come out of court saying that you are free and whatever. I hope and pray that sooner or later the evidence will eat you and you go to jail too. And that's coming very soon. Andile Masatama is tweeting again on Twitter. I need you all to go in. There is, we've put it up now. There's his tweet name. He's calling for revolution. He's also calling to killing white people. And he says, we're coming. Well, so are we, Mr. Andile. And your name too is on this list. Some good news. Mr. Pastor Jack Stagnant's here from the United States, ex-South African. He has put together the African Liberty Charter. He is going around the country, and there's a picture of him with the chief apostle of the 12 Apostle Church Group, 22 million members, 28 African countries, and they've signed the Liberty Charter. It is a Christian-based form of government rules that are based on sound government rules and Christian values. Please support them. We'll keep you updated on what's going on. And it's a great initiative to bring peace between the black people and the white people. Now, people say that I'm a racist because I talk about the white murders, but let me tell you something. I also get messages from black people about their plight as well. 58 people are murdered a day. 3 women are raped every minute. And these are statistics that we know about. We don't know about others. Black women walking home are fearful of being raped by Tsotsis. Now, not all black people and not all white people are bad. It's just that small group that are making it bad for everybody. Hijackers, murderers who get away with it because the government is incompetent in doing stuff. Now, a lot of the police are involved in these crimes. At least 30% of the police on the police force have criminal records for all kinds of crimes. There needs to be consequences for murder. There need to be consequences for rape and strict consequences. This cannot continue. And to this so-called President Ramaphosa, who's supposed to be the leader of all the people of South Africa, we have heard silence from you regarding the murder and rape of people in your country. You have not once said, how do we stop this? And we have to stop it. You have kept quiet. The silence. Because you're incompetent. You're worried about your pocket. You're worried about money. Money. Money is the root of all evil. And power is a sickness. Like the professor in Ghana said, corruption is a human rights violation. And you, Masenda, is the number one corrupter of all the people of South Africa. You are placing criminals in parliament. You have actually sworn in murderers, police murderers. How? Why? You've been blackmailed by Malema to put people in parliament. The land reform, you were too scared and cowardly to turn it down and say this was a mistake. And now you're committing economic suicide for the people of South Africa. Last year, I predicted the hell that you would bring with this land reform. And I was right. Riots in the streets, burning of trucks, buildings, murder, rape, torture, killings. And nobody stopped it. You just let it run. The only people you protected were the international embassies with your police, not the people. Because you were scared of an international incident. So you put the incompetent police there as a buffer. Because you knew if anybody had gone there, they would shoot them and you'd have a problem. But you left your people vulnerable as today. And this racist rhetoric that you based on your election, that was corrupt as it was, killed 2 children today. Unbelievable. Some good news. King Goodwill Zwelithini, he's back in the KwaZulu-Natal Agricultural Unit, discussing security and safety of farms and trying to stop the killings and murder of farmers and protect the stock and theft, because he's a farmer himself. He realizes that Natal has lots of natural resources. And he's the natural leader of Natal. I'm hoping maybe that they secede from the South Africa like the Cape and let the country be run by the criminals like the ANC. And I hope he hears my voice. And become autonomous states. That is them to decide, not me. So we found out today that a gentleman, Steyn Speed, is going to be the political communications manager for the ANC and the President Ramaphosa. He's a white man with a journalist degree from Rhodes University and a master's degree in business administration. I truly hope, sir, that you have read the letter from the 5 nations that give South Africa 75% of their foreign trade. Because I will guarantee you, I'm going to start a campaign of sanctions against this country if you start to take the land. We're well aware of the farms that have been allocated to be taken that have massive amounts of gold on them. You are illegally taking this land from these people, not for land, but for money. We're well aware of the amounts of gold that are on these farms. We'll be tired what you do in the next couple months. My suggestion is that you advise very carefully. The United States is watching, so is the rest of the world. And so are we. And today I called for international sanctions because of what is going on, because I'm sick and tired of seeing it. Now, in 1994, there was a document signed by the ANC, the Nationalist Government, and the Freedom Front that should the situation in South Africa deteriorate to the point where the Afrikaner does not have self-determination, they were guaranteed self-determination. The document is there, signed by the ANC and the South African Nationalist Government at the time. I think it's time to honor that. The Afrikaans nation have wanted only one thing in the entire time, since 1652, to be left alone, to farm their land and live in peace and harmony as Africans, not Europeans. That's the way they weren't born. They were born here. They do not know Europe. They're not Dutch. They're Africans. They always have been. They've been persecuted enough, poured more blood into Africa than most people, saved the Zulus and every other black nation from the British, gave their blood for you. And yes, there was apartheid given to them by the British. Erroneously used by some of them based on their hatred of the British. And yes, there's racism on both sides of the field. And we all know that. And that has to stop. Another thing, history is history. Do not repeat that again. I understand a lot of the Boers are angry about Piet Retief and Dingo and Shaka in those times. People, we have to move forward. We're in the 21st century. We cannot hold on to the past. We have to see the future. Ek is 'n Engelsman, maar ek staan met julle. Maar jy moet sien die voor jy, nie agter nie. Asseblief. Vandag ons het by 2 babas gesien, doodgemaak. Want mense kan nie saam wees nie. En ek weet, believe me, I understand. To all the black people in South Africa, today was a terrible thing. I don't blame you. I blame the government, and I blame those men for the hatred in their hearts. and we will find them, and they will pay. And it is up to you too to stop the criminals in your cities. You don't need to live in fear too. Yes, I scream about what's going on for the white people, but I also feel for you as well. Because none of you talk to me because I'm the white man. You don't trust me. But believe me, you tell me your story, I'll let it know. Your government has failed you again. Ace built a bunch of houses in the Bloemfontein area. They look just like township houses. He didn't build you a nice house. He stole your money. Now he's in the government again. A criminal. He needs to go. All these people that are still back in parliament with Bosasa and all these other things. They asked the Arabs in Dubai, Arab Emirates, and I've been to Dubai many times. It's one of the most modern cities in the world. It's absolutely beautiful, safe. You can walk down the street anytime at night, nobody will touch you. Nobody. They do not have mining. They only have a city that has oil underneath. And when they asked the Arabs, why is it like this? They said, because of our leader, not because of the money. We don't have infrastructure. We don't have oil. All we have is oil, and the oil's running out. But our leader chose to make this the most beautiful, most modern, most educated, most incredible city in the world. And that's exactly what they did. They didn't care about themselves. They cared about their people. And these were Bedouin people. And the same can happen to South Africa with the right leader. Here's something you must understand. There's almost 16 million people on welfare, and only 4 million are paying taxes. And when those 4 million are gone, who's going to have money? Yes, you got VAT tax, right? You got all the criminal little shops all over the place selling stuff on the side. That's not going to the government. And the government's driving in BMWs while you drive it, you have to walk to the bus while the Tutsis attack you because the police don't have enough money to drive there or don't care either because they're robbing you too and taking bribes. And you voted for the same people again. How sad. To all the families, black and white, today that lost a child, I'm truly sorry. I can't even imagine. Today's Veterans Day, tomorrow's Veterans Day for us. To all the soldiers from all the countries in all the wars, you will be remembered tomorrow by me. To all the American soldiers and South African soldiers and British soldiers that were in Iraq and the NATOs that lost people. I was honored for 10 years to serve with you. And I saw lots of guys die. And I helped a lot of guys. You'll never be forgotten. To all the farmers out there, you're under attack. Don't be complacent. And to all the guys out there that have parents out there in the farms by themselves, you need to go home. You need to protect them. And all the Buddha guys that talk and talk and talk, you need to go help them too. Take turns until this is over. A lot of you are telling me, just come over here and help us. What's the point? I'll be inside that same walls you stuck in. I can't do anything from there. I can do much more from here. But when the time comes, believe me. Just believe me. Hopefully that won't happen. I'm out of here. Good night. Be safe. Today's a sad day, especially for me.